After a deadly tornado outbreak that slammed parts of Alabama, also Georgia. Tonight, we now know the names and ages of the 23 people killed. All 23 were killed when that powerful EF4 tornado, you see it right here, tore through Lee County, Alabama, and some have ties to the Atlanta area.
Yeah, it's such a heartbreaking story. Haley Mason has been talking to those relatives. She begins our team coverage tonight live outside Beauregard High School. That's where officials have been giving updates all day. Haley, what's the latest there?
The latest is these families have begun planning funerals today. Alicia and Mike, one family will have to plan 7, all within the same family. I spoke with some of those relatives, some in the metro Atlanta area, some here, who say they're just relying on prayers at this hour. Today, the people of Beauregard, Alabama are grappling with unspeakable loss.
I can't wrap my mind around that. I can't stop just praying, the tears.
Juanetta Johnson is related to the Jones family that lost 7 members, a mother, father, and son, and cousins.
It's very devastating just to lose any family member, but just to lose that large amount of family members in just one event is just horrific.
In tragedy, the only hope can often come from the love and support of community, pitching in with free barbecue lunches, toiletry bags, and spaghetti dinners. Andrew Lee decided to help out after losing cousins of his own.
I had a cousin, she lost her actual dad, and her stepmom passed away along with her best friend that was in the house with her. She was the only one that survived. She left out of there with a broken femur, a broken ankle, and a broken leg. We lost a lot of lives that weren't meant to be lost so soon. A lot of children left way earlier than they should have.
4 of the victims were children. Jonathan Bowen was just 9. In a GoFundMe page, his mother wrote that the floors in their home just disappeared from under them, ripping their children away from them. Today, so many people are looking for refuge and hoping for peace.
And the community has really just stepped up and have just helped. And I know through God, help, and prayers that we will get through this.
And so many people have reached out to me today, come up to me asking how can they help, can they come down, can they send items? Well, the emergency management team has said there will be an 8 a.m. volunteer reception at the Volunteer Reception Center that's here in Smith Station. Now, if you're from out of state, if you're back home, then they're wanting you to reach out to the Georgia Emergency Management Office, register yourself as an individual volunteer or an agency, and they will classify how you can get help here to Lee County, Alabama. We'll put that information on our CBS 46 News app. Reporting live in Lee County, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Yeah, so good to see them helping. Also the power crews that you could see driving behind Haley
there. Trucks behind there to lend a hand for so many, certainly in need.
And tonight, the National Weather Service now confirming it was an EF3 tornado that tore through parts of central Georgia. The twister destroying dozens of homes, as you see right here in the city of Talbotton.
And in response, Governor Kemp has declared a state of emergency in 3 counties, Grady, Harris, and Talbot counties. CBS 46 reporter Melissa Stern continues our tornado team coverage. She joins us now live with the latest on recovery efforts in central Georgia. Melissa.
The cleanup continues in those counties, and we spoke to residents in Talbotton who say they lost nearly everything in the devastating tornado. Despite the loss, everyone is trying to remain positive, as they say luckily no one was killed.
Devastated. It's not real.
The cleanup continues days after a tornado tore through Talbot County, Georgia.
Most of my baby pictures, my cousin baby pictures, my sisters and brother, they're gone, and I can't find them. I don't have them anymore. It just makes you sad.
You guys hanging in there all right?
Governor Kemp declared a state of emergency in Grady, Harris, and Talbot counties to make sure all state resources are available to those affected by the tornadoes.
The response from the local community, from their neighbors down here has been fantastic. Everyone pulling together. I want to thank all the folks at the local level from adjoining counties and others that are working so hard to help their fellow Georgians in a time of need.
Governor Kemp says no fatalities were reported. Georgia Emergency Management Agency says additional resources may be available pending further damage assessment.
We have FEMA at our State Operations Center. We're looking at options there Don't know if this disaster will rise to the level of a federal disaster, but we're working with the Small Business Administration to ensure that all available benefits that our citizens are eligible for will be afforded to them.
Neighbors say it's hard to take in everything they're seeing, like Lisa Jenkins, who lived in her now leveled home for 30 years.
We've never seen nothing like this before.
All the memories, everything that you have worked for is gone.
But say thankfully, no one was killed.
You can't replace a life, but you can replace material things.
According to the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, as of noon today, there are 12 reported non-life-threatening injuries as a result of the storm. And again, no reported fatalities. Georgia power outages in the impacted areas are expected to be cleared by tonight, unless the customer is unable to receive power because of damage to their home or business. All but 5 state routes are open. Melissa Stern, CBS 46 News.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And we are following every update on that deadly tornado outbreak, and we're posting each new detail right here on the CBS 46 app. Download it free. Also sign up for breaking news alerts to get stories like this one sent directly to your phone. To get it, just text CBS 46 to 23765. Right now, a boil water advisory is still in effect in South Fulton County. The Department of Watershed issued the advisory after a water main broke on Fairburn Road near Cascade Road yesterday. It's causing water pressure issues, also concerns about water quality, forcing the Government Service Center to close today. 24 schools are also having to use boiled or bottled water, and crews have now fixed the water main. However, officials say it'll take another 24 hours to figure out if that water is safe to drink.
Now to a developing story in Floyd County. Tuberculosis testing is underway at 2 Metro Atlanta elementary schools. Last week we told you about confirmed TB cases at both Model and Johnson elementary schools. This morning we got a look at the testing stations and talked to parents about the process.
From my understanding, it's a simple prick right at the skin, and then they go right back to class.
Testing will continue tomorrow. District officials also tell CBS 46 they've extensively cleaned the schools. They say the threat is no longer active. Covering Gwinnett County, TB testing will take place tomorrow for more than 200 students and faculty at Discovery High School. This after a student tested positive for the disease. Health officials say the results are expected to come back on Friday. We will keep checking with both school district officials and county executives to find out if any other students were infected.
Tonight, Atlanta city leaders are honoring the life and legacy of an iconic civil rights leader. The AJC reporting Dr. Lonnie King passed away at the age of 82 after suffering heart problems. Dr. King was a student at Morehouse College who founded the Atlanta student movement along with Julian Bond back in 1960. He marched for equality, also took part in sit-ins. In a statement, Council member Michael Julian Bond called King an unsung hero for coordinating protests against segregated lunch counters and department stores. Our condolences tonight to his family.
Coming up all new at 6, a push to bring casinos to Georgia. We'll tell you why the bill's sponsor says the plan could boost the economy and education, and why some are hesitant to support it.
Didn't the groundhog say that spring was right around the corner? Not for folks in Billings, Denver, Dallas, Atlanta, New York City, Chicago at 18, and 10 at International Falls as this cold air firmly in place. We'll tell you how low we'll go in your neighborhood coming up next.
Welcome back. CBS 46 is getting results. Workers who say they put in the hours at the Super Bowl experience and didn't get paid as promised are now getting checks more than a month after the big game. This only after CBS 46 got involved. CBS 46's Yasmina Alston joining us now live to explain what happened after those workers went to the Fulton County District's Attorney's office today. Yasmina.
Well, there were about 20 Super Bowl experience workers at the district attorney's office, and they left with the money that was owed to them by BE Staffing. Now, these people were expecting to just come here today for a meeting and were surprised with those checks. What was interesting was that about an hour before that meeting, we also heard from BE Staffing.
Needs to pay these workers.
You may see some familiar faces. That's because these are a few of the Super Bowl experience workers who've been saying they weren't paid by BE Staffing, who hired them.
These people worked and have not been paid.
Recently, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office got involved and called a meeting for those employees to speak with investigators about their claims.
Those are our investigators with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office.
But instead, District Attorney Paul Howard had a different message for them.
Got some good news for you. I've got 2 lawyers here representing the company that owes you money.
So one by one, each employee present was called back to meet with advocates, the district attorney's office, and BE Staffing.
If they believe that they're satisfied, then they can go home. But if they aren't satisfied, then one of my investigators will interview them today, and then we'll make a decision about going forward sometime in the future.
I'm very nervous right now.
Many say they didn't know what to expect after almost a month of attempts at getting their money. BE Staffing did send us another statement denying allegations and that they are fully committed to honoring any financial obligations. They ask employees to provide a claim here if necessary.
Somebody walked out with a check!
But again, one by one, they came out with smiles and checks.
I got my check.
Are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied. It's what it was supposed to be.
I'm told there wasn't much explanation for why the payments were delayed, but despite that, money was issued.
I'm very satisfied with what I got.
How was it? How was the process?
Well, it was kind of scary, but I had to.
And again, BE Staffing denies allegations of not paying workers, even though we witnessed several of them receiving checks today. Now, I've been in communication with a representative for the company, and she says the owner of BE Staffing is ready to talk and share her side of the story. I'm working on setting up an interview so that we can hear her side of the story, and we'll update you as that happens. For now, live in downtown Atlanta, Yasmina Alston, CBS 46 News.
And that is a story